We are catching John Millea today at the XL Energy Center. We are talking to him during a break. The only time I don't want to hear pep bands is while we're trying to record. I love pep bands. And John already told me that he's up there in the press box, that Dave Wright is doing the announcing as always, as it should be. So, John, set the scene for me.
Yeah, Jim, I'm up in the press box at the XL Center. I'm looking at about 5 other people in the press box. We're between sessions at the Girls State Hockey Tournament. We're talking Thursday, late afternoon. We finished the first 2 AA state quarterfinals. We'll have 2 more tonight. Semifinals in A and AA Friday, championship game Saturday. So we're off and running. And I was thinking, I think it was about a year ago, was during one of these tournaments at the X, we had a big time Minnesota blizzard. And I ended up scrambling and finding a hotel room down here because there was just no way I was going to drive it. I don't live that far away. It's about 25 minutes on a day like today when it's 50 degrees. And boy, the worm can really turn, and that's happened numerous times in all the years I've been doing this. This time of year, I'm at the XL Center or the Target Center or the U of M, and you're watching the weather. Should I get a hotel room? Should I drive home? Not the case this year, which is great. But yeah, the arena is empty. The ice is being scraped. The arena is being cleaned. We'll have more games here in about 3 hours. It's 3 o'clock Thursday right now. We'll start the evening session at 6 and keep on rolling.
Excellent. And you just also reminded me of not exactly a prep topic, but close enough for the way we do the show. How about Jesse Diggins bringing the Skiing World Cup to Theodore Wirth Park in Minneapolis?
Yeah.
First World Cup in America in like 23 years. Then she ends up on the podium and ends up being a great event. Yeah. And guess what? The one real snowfall we had set up the tournament, that World Cup ski event perfectly.
Yeah, I mean, there were. It would have been held anyway. They were prepared. They
would find a way.
But boy,
yes.
that few inches we got right before the weekend, and yeah, she's a former high school state champion, and has just been a great ambassador for her sport, a great Minnesota athlete. And you and Rachel Blount from the Star Tribune did just. I bet you guys had so much fun covering that event. I know you did. I know Rachel's so great at that. She knows all these Olympic athletes. She's written about Jesse a lot. What was that experience like for you, Jim? Because we don't normally cover things like that around here.
No, we really don't. And, the times I have covered that sport, it's been in a European country or someplace really cold, set up for all that near the Alps or whatever. And it was kind of weird. It was strange in a great way. I mean, Theodore Wirth Park. I've been to Theodore Wirth Park. I've been to pretty much all the parks in the Minneapolis Park Board collection. That's one of the great things about living here is we have fantastic parks. They're big, they're beautiful, they're accessible. They have great bodies of water. And to just go to a local park and have a World Cup event being held there, and then to have it play out the way. It would have been a great event if Jesse Diggins had finished 42nd and if American male hadn't come close to the podium. Instead, an American man wins gold. Jesse puts on a wild finish to get on the podium to wrap up the event. And on top of that, all the international stars in that sport were raving about Minneapolis, the park, the course, the fans. The fans were very knowledgeable. They were intense. It was a great experience.
It sure looked like it. I wish I could have gotten down there. I was tied up, but yeah, what a great thing. We're going to see more of those kind of events back here, I think, especially. And you could just tell by the coverage. Jesse was so proud because she worked hard for this.
Yes.
She was the impetus behind this.
Yes.
And when you're the caliber of athlete she is on the international stage, she's got some pull. People listen to her, and congrats to her just for really getting this thing over the finish line and the way she crossed the finish line. What a great celebration it was. This part of the country, just look at the lakes and parks in the Twin Cities. It is amazing. I don't know if people around the country who maybe come in for a Super Bowl or a Final Four or whatever have any sense of what that's like, but it's really something.
It is. So great stuff. And now let's get on to the main part of the show. This is Preps Today with John Millea. You know the drill. We want you to go up to Pizza Barn in Princeton and eat a pizza or patronize their food trucks. Pizza Barn in Princeton has been great to us. We love the place. Jody State does a great job up there. If you're ever up in the northwest quadrant of the Twin Cities, you are not far away from the Pizza Barn in Princeton. We highly recommend it. Also want to thank propane.com. We're coming to you from the Aquarius Home Services studio. If you like the show, please subscribe to your favorite podcast app. It's free. It's the easiest way to listen. And check out talknorth.com for all of our other shows. Great sports lineup. We've added Don Mitchell. Now we've added Kevin Gorg. He's going to do a special show, Wooden Sticks, on hockey culture, and everything else. We keep growing the thing. John was one of the original podcasters for us. He's done incredible work. And now let's get to his first topic of the day, back in the saddle.
Sir, Jim, last week I was reporting from the Phoenix area where my wife and I were getting some R&R. Back home safe, back in the tournament swing. You travel a lot. I travel a lot. I don't know what it is. I come home, even from just a couple of days, I'm exhausted.
Oh, no doubt.
3-hour flight from Phoenix. We flew Delta. It was fantastic. No delays. And we got home last Thursday night. It was midnight when we landed. We took a late flight. And, you get home about 1:00 in the morning. And I thought, and we didn't do anything in Phoenix. We didn't do anything taxing. We went to restaurants, we hung around with our son and his girlfriend and just sat in the sun. Boy, you'd think I'd been running a marathon by Friday morning. When I woke up, I was just exhausted, but got back. And by Saturday, I was back in the tournament swing. I was able to make it to Target Center for the second day of the state dance tournament. That was fun. Got me right back, in the right headspace. So with that, state tournaments are indeed going strong, and I'm here at the X. We're focused this week on 2 girls tournaments, the hockey tournament here at the X, and right down the hall at Roy Wilkins Auditorium, Friday and Saturday, we'll have the state gymnastics tournament, which is always fun. Very convenient for a guy like me. I can take the elevator down from the X, go down to the concourse, walk down a hallway, and I'm at the state gymnastics tournament. They're not doing it for me, but I'm sure grateful for that. Next week, we'll be back here at the X for state wrestling, and also next week the boys state swim meet will be held at the U of M, and then in the weeks after that we'll have 3 weeks here at the X, because this week is girls hockey, next week is wrestling, and the week after that is boys hockey. That'll be followed by the girls and boys state basketball tournaments. If everything goes according to plan, by March 23rd we will wrap up the winter sports season, and I'm not looking that far down the road. I'm taking it a day at a time. And it really is fun to be here for these events.
Yeah, and we appreciate you doing. And listen, sound for our listeners, our regular listeners, sound quality when we do a remote like this is probably not going to be perfect. Bear with us. Most of the shows sound good. There's going to be some background noise, but the content is great. And just bear with us. Let's move on.
I could holler at the 2 guys driving the Zambonis.
You should.
Down on the ice. They'll be done shortly. They're pretty efficient. So let's move on. I've got some theater news to report. People who are familiar with the Minnesota State High School League, we're involved with more than sports. We're very proud of all the fine arts we're involved in. And for an old sports writer like me, it's really fun to get into some of those areas. I wrote a John's Journal story this week about Jessica Chipman. She's a theater director at Alexandria High School. She's been honored with a national award from the National Federation of State High School Associations, their Theater Educator Award. Really fun to talk to her. She's from Iowa, like me. Go figure. There's Iowans up here in Minnesota. But people like Jessica, they just do so many great things for their students, all these fine arts people, never, ever with enough recognition. So it's awesome to shine a light on Jessica and all the folks around the state involved with fine arts on the high school level.
Excellent. I'm intrigued by the title of the next segment here, Non-Controversial Controversies.
Non-controversial controversies. We've had a couple of dust-ups. One involved the seeding for the Class AA girls hockey tournament. There was a story in the Star Tribune. Some of the coaches, I don't know why anybody would get worked up about this. They were the coach from Minnetonka. It's a great hockey team. Tracy Casano does a great job. She was quoted as not being pleased with how it played out. And the way we do seeding right now for hockey, the coaches of the 8 teams who qualify, they get on their computers, they electronically seed the teams. and the 1 through 5 teams are identified. 6, 7, and 8 are not identified as 6, 7, and 8. And number 4 will play number 5 in the first round, and then 1, 2, 3, their opponents will be determined by a blind draw from the 6, 7, 8. And I guess Minnetonka is seated number 1, I believe. Let me look at their number 1. They're playing Maple Grove, which apparently they're not seated. They're not seated in the top 5, but I think Tracy was upset that she views Maple Grove as the 6th best team here. And in a perfect world, number 1 would play number 8, I guess. But those match, like I said, it's the coaches seed them. There's a blind draw, but this is probably not going to happen again. Already in volleyball, the next volleyball tournament in the fall, the change has been made there. It'll be seeding 1 through 8. The dominoes are falling. That's going to be the case in every sport that seeds. Instead of 1 through 5 and a blind draw, it's going to be 1 through 8. So in the next year or two, that's going to be standard, which to me is the way to go. So let's stay calm. Let's play the games out. Just have fun. Yeah, the other non-controversial controversy, Jim, involves dance. And I got to make a correction. Something I said on the podcast a couple of weeks ago. I was talking about the state dance tournament and a little outcry about allowing photographers to be credentialed at that event. I made a mistake. I said cameras were allowed in the stands. They're not, and I apologize for that. I got some bad information. The high school league did add extra staff photographers to state dance this year, and entire photo galleries from every performance are available on the MSHSL website. And I got to say, the reaction to those photos has really been neat. Private messages to the MSHSL Facebook page been very positive. Once people saw those photos, I think everybody just exhaled and said, "Hey, these are good." And you can purchase those as many as you want. You can get digital photos. I think you can get actual printed photos. And even though I played no role in any of this other than spouting some bad information, I've received, private messages from people just saying thank you for the photography work. It really made everybody happy. So it's and the standard in state tournaments on the high school level, we hire professional photographers to shoot championship level events, championship games. And for dance, everything in the preliminaries and the championship round was photographed. So every team that was there has a gallery of photos, and it really went over well. So I'm glad people are happy about that.
That's excellent. All right, up ahead in the show, we're going to thank a coach. We're going to thank a ref. We're going to get to John's most valuable teammate, 3 great staples of this show. First, though, John, tell us about Pizza Barn in Princeton.
Yeah, our friend Jody Stay, like you said, Jim, they're doing so many great things, and there's a lot happening right now at the Pizza Barn in downtown Princeton. Let's start with the food trucks. They've got 2 of them from the Pizza Barn. They're fantastic. This great weather means they are out. They're serving pizza on wheels. So if you're listening to this on Friday, January 23rd, you're in the area of Malacca, go to the Mille Lacs County Sheriff's Office from 11 to 1:30. There's going to be a food truck there. And if you're in Mora between 4 and 9, there'll be a food truck at Beer Club Brewery offering all that great pizza from the Pizza Barn. And Lent is here. And so there's a lot of great fish specials at the Pizza Barn Monday through Friday from 11 to 2. They're offering their beer battered cod fillet sandwich, and every day, all day, every day, they're serving their beer battered cod fillet basket. Both come with waffle fries and house-made seasoned sour cream or tater topper. And you can also get Chef Shorty's house-made tartar sauce, which is outstanding. So once again, let's thank Jody Stay and everybody at the Pizza Barn in Princeton.
Yes, thank you, Jody. Also want to let you know we need to lower our carbon footprint, need reliable and affordable energy, and a clean energy solution for tomorrow is available today that's ready to work alongside other energy sources. It's propane. Propane produces 43% fewer emissions than the equivalent amount of electricity generated from the U.S. grid and is energy stored on-site and independent from the vulnerabilities of that grid. Major advances are being made today for renewable propane, which is compatible with traditional propane. Minnesota needs to use all of our low-carbon alternatives to safely provide energy reliability, resiliency, and affordability. Propane, the right energy right now. Find out more about what propane can do for you at propane.com. Once again, we're coming to you from the Aquarius Home Services Studios, and it is time to thank a ref.
Yeah, let's thank a couple of coaches, then we'll thank a ref here,
Oh,
Jim.
I got the order
Yep.
out of
We're
whack.
we're thanking everybody, and there's nothing wrong with that. Big announcement this week from Mayor Lutheran High School. Dean Aurick, who's been the football coach for 36 years, is stepping down from that job. They've had a really good run of football there, state tournaments multiple times. Dean also coached track and field at Mayor Lutheran for 30 years. Congrats and thank you to him. And a guy named Phil Firk, who coached girls basketball teams at St. Louis Park to 2 state titles and 5 state tournament appearances in just 6 seasons. He died recently at age 83. Phil also was a teacher in the St. Louis Park system for 30 years. I did not know Phil. I certainly knew his name because I know a lot of people who grew up with Phil or had him as a teacher or a coach, and everybody thought the world of Phil Firk. Condolences to his family and everybody who knew him.
Thanks for that, John. All right, now let us move on to thank a ref.
Yeah, we talk all the time about needing more officials. And, as these veteran officials step down, there are slots available for sure. And I want to honor John Bombach from Eden Prairie. He has wrapped up a lengthy career as a basketball official. He worked his final game, I think, last week. After 52 years as a high school basketball official, that's amazing.
Wow.
And someone like that, they've earned the right to walk away proud of everything they've done for kids over those 5+ decades. Thank you, John, for everything you've done. And again, that's a reminder if anybody's interested in officiating any sport, anything the high school league does, there are games waiting for you, and you'll make some money. You'll make some great friends, great relationships, and we definitely need a ref, and we love to thank a ref. So thank you, John Bombach from Eden Prairie, for everything you've done.
Yes, thank you, John. We appreciate it. All right, another great staple of this show, John's most valuable teammates.
Yeah, we like to do this every week, honoring kids who go above and beyond. It's not the most valuable player; it's the most valuable teammate. This week we honor. I'm gonna mispronounce Logan's last name. Logan Duangdi is a junior wrestler at Rochester Century who's a true inspiration to his teammates and his coaches. He's battled through tough times with heart and determination. Logan shows quiet leadership through hard work, dedication, and a willingness to make sacrifices for his team. He helps out at every turn, whether it's fundraising, cleaning the mats, giving rides to younger teammates. They're lucky to have him as a role model on and off the mat. Congrats to Logan Duangdi of Rochester Century on being a most valuable teammate.
Excellent. Great stuff as always, John. Enjoy the tournament. Enjoy the X, and leave me a pretzel.
No guarantees. No promises. We'll see what we can do.
All righty. Hey, thank you, John. Thanks to everyone who listens. Thanks to our sponsors. We appreciate it. We'll talk to you next week.